Sorry, I took a coughing fit, so I had to restart this. It was about 30 minutes ago that all this ended, so it's still relatively fresh on my mind. It's the 2022 Money in the Bank is it called paid live event now instead of pay-per-view? Anyway, these are the people that were in it. Lacey Evans, the women. Lacey Evans, Raquel Rodriguez, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Shotzi, and Alexa Bliss. That is, the women's ladder match was the first one of the first match of the night. They don't do preliminary matches anymore before the regular event. So I'll be honest with you, I don't watch 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And back in the 90s and 2000s, they'd have 2 or 3 matches. And then the last few years they had 1 match, but they don't have any matches anymore, so I don't really see the point in it. In watching it, I should say. It was okay. It looked like Becky Lynch was going to win it first, because she dumped everyone off the ladder. Well, like 4 or 5 people off the ladder. But Morgan got to the belt, to the briefcase, before she did. When she was taking out 4 or 5 other people. Shotzi, Rodriguez, Evans, and Bliss, maybe. So it looked like she was going to win, but I was happy to see Morgan win. I'm going to give it maybe a B-. Wish I could give it higher, actually, because I really like Liv Morgan. And I'm glad to see what happens later in the night, but we'll get to that when later on when it happens. Next was the United States Championship match, Bobby Lashley versus Theory. He used to be Austin Theory, now they just call him Theory. He defended against Bobby Lashley. If you've watched, is it Raw that they're both on? I can't keep up. I think it's Raw they're both on. And they've had a few here lately. And Bobby Lashley's been able to hold himself, like all the things with Otis and what's the other guy's name? I can't think of it. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But they either are now or used to be a tag team, I think. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, there was a lot of good moments in the match. A lot of good moves. I actually liked the match a whole lot. Lashley won. He submitted to the Hurt Lock, and Lashley won his. He starts his third reign as United States champion. I like when he's United States champion, to be honest. I think he makes the belt feel important to not be the highest championship, and they've got rid of a lot of the championships. And honestly, I think they could use a few more, a couple more anyway, like 2 or 3 more. I think AEW has too many, and I don't think that WWE has enough. The Raw Women's Championship match was Bianca Belair versus Carmella. It was a really good match. I like Carmella. I'm glad that Belair won. Oh, I forgot to give the letter grade for Theory versus Bobby Lashley. I'm gonna give it a B plus. But to go back to the Bianca Belair and Carmella, I think Carmella is often underestimated and overlooked. I think she elevates whoever she's in a match against. I think she makes other people look good. I wanted Belair to win. It was originally supposed to be Rhea Ripley versus Belair, which is what I've been wanting for a while. Well, let me rephrase that. Since it was originally, there was going to be that match, it had like 4 or 5 people, and whoever won that match, whoever pinned somebody or made somebody submit or something, would win. And she rip-tided Doudrop. But she obviously she's out with the injury. And like I've said in other videos, I don't know who to root for. I love them both. But I'm going to have to give this a B minus. She got the KOD. Honor. And that's how she retained the title. And like usual for a heel, Carmella, I'm sorry, for a paid live event, there were several near wins between the two. Most notable was when it looked like Carmella had trapped the EST of WWE into a submission and had some tough kicks and stuff like that, but I think nobody was surprised to see Bianca Belair win. The fourth match of the night was the unified WWE Tag Team Championship match. Street Profits versus the Usos. It was an A plus. I'll go ahead and say that now. But they always give great matches. Kudos to both teams. It was the second longest match of the night. You don't see many 20 plus minute matches anymore. It was, the whole match was amazing. I mean, it always is. Sadly, going by the commentary and how they were talking about how great Montez Ford looks now that he's improved his physical conditioning and stuff like that. I think that they're going to push for a singles run for one or both of them. And I wish if they were going to do that, because I can see why they would want to do that. I would like for it to be the Kingston and Xavier Woods and Big E, New Day, where they have their tag team and 6-man matches, but they also have a lot of singles matches. Do that. But I think both of them really would do great as singles. But there's already not enough tag teams. There's the Usos and Street Profits. The rest are cause Arcade Bro isn't right now because Orton was injured, or at least started having back troubles. I don't know if it's a recent injury or it's just from where he's been wrestling for 20 years, Next was which it was the 5th of 7 matches. They almost always have 7 matches. It was the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey versus Natalya. And Liv Morgan cashes in, which was something I was happy to see. I'm gonna give the whole thing a plus. It was amazing. But I really like Natalya versus Rousey anyway. I think they have great chemistry together. I heard somewhere that they're friends in real life, which wouldn't surprise me. They're enemies on the screen, but they're friends backstage, apparently. But, it was a great match. they were both trying to get each other into their submissive moves because, they both tend to win by submission. At first, Natalia dominated. Rousey at some point applied a sharpshooter to Natalia. Natalia applied the sharpshooter to Rousey at one point to the injured knee. But Rousey reversed and sent Natalia into the ring post. Then there was another sharpshooter attempt because Rousey got overconfident. But Rousey countered and applied the ankle lock. Then somehow Natalia looked for the sharpshooter, but then Rousey did the armbar. I'm not making it sound as great as it was. Then Rousey won by submission, and then Morgan cashed in for money in the bank, which I was glad to see. It was great to see. I think this is her first time winning the championship, although she's come close a lot. So I really hope they don't take it away from her anytime soon. At least a 2 or 3 month reign. I know that there's they usually don't do long championship reigns anymore. Roman Reigns is the exception. They usually don't even hold on to it a year. And especially in the women's, it's usually maybe 100 days or a little over. But if she could hold on to it for 2 or 3 months even, I'd be happy. And I would want her to have 2 or 3 runs as champion. But I give the whole thing A+, like I said. And finally, the 7th match of the night, the last match, was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm gonna give it a A+. It was, let's see, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Madcap Moss, Riddle, and Omos. It was the main event of the night. And obviously, with it being the ladder match, it's a guaranteed shot to be cashed in within a year. So And actually, Theory, I don't think I'd mentioned him yet. He was the 8th man after he lost his United States Championship to Bobby Lashley. Um, he was sneaky as he can be. He sees his opportunities. I'll give him that. And I like him. I think he's like 24 now, something like that. So I think he has a lot of potential. I think he's a great heel. And he probably is a good guy in real life. But he also has a lot of confidence, I hope he's a good guy, and I hope he stays that way. But some of the best heels, and also true baby faces, they're just an extension of their true selves. Like, if you can be, like, if you're truly confident, you just become overconfident and take it up a few notches, but he, let me find my notes here. I wasn't planning on saying all that, sorry about that. Riddle had taken out Rollins, and that gave Theory an opportunity to grab the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think they pushed him a little too hard and a little too early, though, honestly. It was a great match, and I want him to succeed in the future, but I don't know. It just seems too pushed. Kind of like what they did with Reigns years ago, where they pushed him and pushed him and pushed him, and they tried to push him as a baby face, and even when he was trying to be a heel, they still wanted him to be a baby face, and it, so, people saw it coming as soon as they found out that Theory was added to the match. He's just not over yet, He's just not over enough yet. Vince McMahon needs to be patient, and that's not his strong suit, And there's been others like John Cena and Randy Orton that they pushed hard and fast, but they were rare, and at least in the case of Randy Orton, he's like, what, second, third generation, I want to say third generation wrestler, because I remember Bob Orton very well, because I've been watching wrestling since at least 1982. So I remember Bob Orton, which was his dad, I think. Because I'm pretty sure Bob Orton's passed away. His grandfather was in the business, I think. I know that his uncle was. Um, yes, Bob Orton Sr. Was a wrestler as well. So, it's, and no, I was wrong. His dad's in his 70s, though. I'm glad he hasn't passed away, but, those are exceptions. Um, they need to build his character and back things up a little bit, in my opinion. He's definitely putting in the work. Um, um, but I just think it's too soon. And going by the crowd reactions, I think they're not a fan of. And it's not even like they were booing or anything like that. They just didn't like it at all. Because even boos, at least for me, it's still entertaining. You hate it. It's like bad moments in a movie, But, um, I hated that there wasn't really any attention put on Rollins in this match. Because I think he's been the best wrestler of the year. Um, um, the crowd went from loving that Liv Morgan cashed in. Because, like I said, she's almost won, like, quite a few times now. But she's just never quite made it. And I think that Ronda Rousey has won the both championships, both the Raw and the SmackDown championships, at least once each. She's this last reign, she held on to it for almost two months, but not quite. Um, and let me see, she's had the Raw Championship once, but she held on to it for like 9 months or something. Well, probably more like 8 months. It was over 230 days. I looked it up. But there were some good moments in the match. I don't know. I'm gonna give it overall probably an A minus, because there was every match got at the lowest a B minus, and there was 3 A pluses. So So that's that was some solid entertainment for $4.99 a month. I like the paid live events way more than I like Raw or SmackDown. It's just, and even like they don't really have build up to the events anymore, and they really don't have great shows. Like Monday won't be that great. You know what I'm saying? It'll be another Raw episode, and it'll start a build up to SummerSlam, and then it'll be a build up to and then it'll be you know, it won't be nothing to write home about. And then there'll be Clash at the Castle, and you know, and Extreme Rules, and whatever comes after that. You get the idea. It's just they're not very but I prefer this, like I said last time, I prefer this to the way that it used to be. I think it was the mid 2000s. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But it used to be like pay-per-views, which were very expensive back then. It was like probably about $30-40, not in today's money, in then money, which is why I never got it. And they were worse than Raw and SmackDown is today, in my opinion. They're some of the worst pay-per-views there for a few years. Like if they do WrestleMania ranked least to best, you know, worst to best. Like, and they do all 38 of them now, or they might do 36 or 37 if it's an older video. They'll be some of the worst ones, and for all of the pay-per-views. But then the Raw and the SmackDown, you couldn't, I mean, they were great, you know what I'm saying? So, it's something to think about. It's something, you know, to be thankful for, that at least the paid live events are worth the money. I wouldn't pay $45 for it, because that's still an option, but I'd gladly pay $5. I'd even pay $10 probably. But then again, I don't think I've ever bought a pay-per-view for anything in my life. So, that's the perspective it's coming from. But anyway, that's my review for, well, it's almost 12:15 now, so a little over an hour ago. I will use the thing that I used to make this a video instead of just audio, and I will um, um, upload it for sorry, I lost my train of thought for in the morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. And with that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.